Hey guys, welcome back in to another episode of Slaughterhouse Sports, The Slot, and it is a Saturday night. So wearing actually this navy blue shirt, and it could pass as an Auburn Tigers shirt, and today we're going to discuss the Auburn Tigers on the program, okay? So as we are recording tonight, I wanted to get into maybe some of the big stories in college football, and I think that a big story in college football is Hugh Freeze in year 2 and this Auburn Tigers football team. So Auburn, if we're going to look at their schedule this year, it's unbelievable. They don't leave Jordan Hare Stadium until October 5th when they go between the hedges. They go to Sanford Stadium. They go to Georgia on October 5th. But before that, they have 5 games that are going to be at Jordan Hare. So they're not going to be leaving home. They're playing Alabama A&M. They're going to be playing Cal. Cal's an ACC team, by the way, which is pretty crazy. And, you know, the thing is that Auburn's going to be doing is that they're going to be playing Cal. And New Mexico's not very good. They should win over Alabama A&M. They'll probably be favored against Cal. I'm not sure about Cal's offense, but I know that Cal, actually their offensive coordinator, Spavital, I think he's back at Baylor, which is really good because Cal's offense was actually kind of dynamic last year, running the football with Spavs back in the mix, all right? So, you know, we look at this schedule, New Mexico, and then Arkansas that's a game I would want to go to. I mean, Arkansas-Auburn, you're talking about at Jordan Hare Stadium. That place is going to be absolutely insane, incredulous for that opponent, right? Auburn hosting Bobby Petrino, Taven Green. I can't wait to see Bobby Petrino's offense and Auburn's offense play. And then we also have Oklahoma. You know, Jackson Arnold possibly playing quarterback with Burks, their wide receiver transfer, is going to be, by all accounts, a stud. And believe it or not, Auburn doesn't have a bye until after Georgia. So by the time they hit Georgia, they're going to be fried. And then they go to Columbia, Missouri, to play at Missouri. And then Kentucky also with Vandergriff. I mean, that's going to be a really tough game. So out of the 5 games, you hope to win 4 of them. You hope to split Arkansas and Oklahoma, and then you hope to win there. So you hope to be 4-1. And then you have, at the end of the year, you have A&M at home. Maybe you can beat A&M at home. You know, try to get 4. 7 is probably the over-under. 6.5 is probably setting the over-under. 7-5, 8-4. And if you do that, you're going to have to beat Missouri. You might even have to beat Kentucky. And then Oklahoma. So it's going to be a fun football season. But the point of this video, guys, is if this season's going to be fun for Auburn, Payton Thorne needs to step up his game. So Payton Thorne, in 2021, when they had their tremendous season and they had Keon Coleman and they won a Peach Bowl championship and they ended up beating Michigan, Payton Thorne only lost 2 games in the regular season. And Payton Thorne that year, I mean, I guess that was his redshirt freshman season. Payton Thorne that year, man, I wish it would tell us the totals, but he threw it isn't that many interceptions, but a lot. His TD to interception ratio was really, really good. And even against Penn State in a win, you know, he threw 2 touchdowns, 268 yards passing. The Michigan game, I remember that being on Halloween, and it was basically he threw 2 interceptions, but also went 196 yards. So Payton Thorne, man, the only game that was tough for him was Ohio State. that was the only game that was the tough game that year. But Payton Thorne had a really good year. Then the second season wasn't very good. I don't think he only broke 300 yards at Washington. A lot of that was garbage time at Washington when he was at Michigan State. He has a lot of losses on this schedule, a lot of losses here. Threw for some yards against Indiana, against Penn State, lost. Completion percentage isn't very good. Then we look to Auburn, last year, and downright abysmal in several games. Against Cal, he only threw for 94 yards. Against A&M in a loss, he was really bad, unfortunately. 44 yards in a loss. Against Georgia, actually, he played well in that game because he ran the football well, but he only threw for like 82 yards against Georgia, against Louisiana State in a loss, LSU, at LSU. Yeah, it was tough sledding. But then Payton Thorne kind of got it together. Against Mississippi State, 20 of 26 for 3 touchdowns against Arnett's team. Arkansas, they also won that game, 3 touchdown passes. And against Vanderbilt. So he heated up towards the end of last year, all right? And then even in the Iron Bowl, maybe that garbage interception at the end, but Payton Thorne was running the football really well. And Payton Thorne on the ground, he had 88 yards. Against Georgia, he had like 123 yards on the ground, or 92. So Payton Thorne, guys, he's entering into his 5th year. His dad is an offensive coordinator. He can be an accurate quarterback. He's very smart. He's a great leader. And he's played a ton of football, and he has a great deal of experience. And if you remember Joe Burrow at LSU, it took Joe Burrow time to get acclimated to the SEC play. So you sometimes see like Bo Nix, right, or Michael Penix. You see these transfer quarterbacks, and really in year 2 is when they're absolutely balling on all cylinders. And for Hugh Freeze, it was his first year. There wasn't that great of wide receiver play. You now get Hugh Freeze in year 2, and that's why Auburn is a team to watch, because Hugh Freeze in year 2, he's putting in his offense. Walker White is also there at quarterback as well. It's a very, Hank Brown ended up staying there, which is interesting, and also like Holden Geriner and of course Walker White. So it's a healthy quarterback room. But really, guys, Cam Coleman is unbelievable. For a college freshman, he is ridiculous. He's 6'3". Bryce Kane, also a college freshman. Keandre Lambert-Smith from Penn State, he's going to be a weapon for Auburn. And also Rob Lewis from Georgia State, had over 1,000 yards at Georgia State last year in Atlanta. That's a really good pickup for Auburn. So their wide receivers are going to be really nice. Jarquez Hunter's going to have to run the football well for them as well. But really, this offense with Hugh Freeze, it's going to be really, really important. Now, their defensive line is kind of thin. They look really thin at defensive line. Their secondary, they actually have some guys that are coming back in the secondary. But it's going to make for a fascinating football season. And we're probably going to break down every single game Auburn's going to play, including a schedule release. But the question that I want to pose to you guys is, can Payton Thorne in this offense take a year 2 bump? Because everybody's kind of crapping on Payton Thorne, think he's kind of average, think that the arm isn't very good, see a lot of clunkers last year, very clunky, and the bowl game was a massive disappointment on top of it. In the middle of the year, LSU, A&M, the meat of the SEC schedule, the offense looked unprepared. The offense was letting down the football team. Maybe actually the defense had a better statistical rank because teams knew, heck, if Payton Thorne's not running, if he's not a mobile threat running the football, then we're going to win these games no problem, because we just don't have to turn it over. As long as we don't kill ourselves on offense with turnovers and dumb plays, we're going to beat Auburn because Auburn has zero offense. But now Hugh Freeze is getting back to his roots. Scotty Montgomery is out of there, and that is a big-time key, all right? You can read between the lines, but right now they like Coach Nix at Auburn. And I'm telling you guys, if you read between the lines, like the Scotty Montgomery offense, it just wasn't really sitting well with the players. They weren't really prepared. They didn't really know what was going on. There was a lot of, I think, friction between Coach Freeze and Scotty Montgomery. But now this is Hugh Freeze's show. This is his offense. And Payton Thorne, Hugh Freeze knows that Payton Thorne is a veteran. He's a senior. He's won games at a high level before. So I'm really excited to see like how this can take off. And if you start getting that winning feeling early, like if you're Auburn, right? So you're Auburn, you start off the year, at home with these games, Cal, New Mexico, Arkansas, Oklahoma. If you start off the year, you're 5-0, 4-1, before you go to Athens, maybe that's a real showdown in Athens, and you suit yourself well in Athens, that's kind of what matters. And you could even be looking at a 9-win year or an 8-win year and maybe being right in there in the playoff contention, right in the thick of it in the SEC West. So it's weird not seeing LSU on the schedule, that's for sure. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you all for watching. I believe in Payton Thorne. I think that this year is going to be a really solid year. I don't know if I'm going Heisman hype with Payton Thorne, but I think it's going to be much improved. I think this offense will be really, really fun to watch. I think they're going to kick it in the high gear. I think they're going to be a sneaky team, Auburn, and that Arkansas-Auburn game is going to tell us everything. Like, I cannot wait to see it. I think that Payton Thorne, knock on wood for good injury health, I think that he's going to be the guy this year. And I think that, again, you're talking a year 5 quarterback, okay? The game's going to slow down for him. He has the right coaching. He has the right mental makeup. He's working really hard this offseason. I think his leadership skills, I'm buying into what I see. Just like Joe Burrow, you could tell that he was magnetic and had that room humming. I just think around Auburn is good vibes. And yeah, it's good vibes everywhere. Everybody's working hard. Everybody's improving. But year 2 for both of these guys, I think it can really hit. And I like how the schedule falls, and I like how things are kind of settling in, and this wide receiver class is actually fantastic. So what do you guys think about Payton Thorne? What do you guys think about this Auburn offense?